look at what's happening, though, with the satellite and radar pictures over the last 12 hours. And what we're watching is an area of low pressure out here over the Atlantic Ocean. Now, it is inching closer to the northern Florida coast and also Georgia and South Carolina. The question is here, will this develop? Now, it could. There is a slight possibility that it would become a tropical depression today as it moves over the warmer waters of the Gulf Stream, which run right in here. But it's in a fairly hostile environment for any type of tropical storm or tropical depression development at this point. But nevertheless, it'll be watched closely, and it will spread showers and storms across the northern Florida coast and also into Georgia. Also from there through the Bahamas all the way down into the Caribbean Sea, we have another area of low pressure. It is also in a very hostile environment. You can see the winds actually just ripping the tops of the thunderstorms off over Jamaica. And look at that. They've actually seen several inches of rainfall in Jamaica because of this persistent area of low pressure down there in the Caribbean Sea. Very elongated. Storms over the Bahamas for today. We'll see our share of storms, especially later this afternoon. Now, we're going to see things just kind of do a squeeze play here. And generally, the unsettled weather pattern is going to stick around over us, and we're going to look for hot conditions by the time we get into late week. And the wind profile will actually support storms that develop over the Everglades, pushing in over the metro area. So we could see some heavy rainfall in spots by the time we get into Thursday and also into Friday. Right now, 77 Key West, 73 at the airport in Miami. It's in the 60s off towards the north. And see this bubble of warm air right here? Now watch, we're going to kind of show you the radar and satellite, and you can see everything lifting off towards the north with the storms. Big storm south of Dallas this morning. Everything is fine there if you're making any connections in that direction. Also in Atlanta and Memphis, all looking good. Most of the rainfall now into Mississippi and also into Alabama. And there's our little area of low pressure already spreading some showers along the eastern seaboard there. It's also a little bit cooler, rather nice off towards the northeast, but still another rain chance in for New York and Philadelphia and also for Boston. It's 55 degrees right now in Boston, and you can see the showers and also the storms over the last 12 hours moving through the upstate New York area, and now just sort of scattered at this point, but no delays. If anything, they have just been by volume, and that has only been about 15 to 30 minutes. Okay, your forecast in detail here in South Florida. 87 is where we expect to top off. Sun and clouds, some storms, still a little breezy out there, especially before lunch and right after lunch. Winds out of the east 10 knots, so basically we're just looking for a sea breeze. 1 to 3 feet for your seas, a light chop in the bays tonight. Generally dry, scattered clouds, pleasant, 75. And a look ahead, well, you better look out. Temperatures climbing back into the mid-90s. Been the first time in a long time that we forecasted warm temps like that. Hot and stormy for Saturday and into Sunday. Have a safe day.
CBS Ford Traffic, sponsored by Palmetto Ford. Family.
Get a check on our weather, and it was a little bit wet yesterday, and I heard you say it's going to be even wetter today. It
is going to be a little bit wet, especially later this afternoon, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at it while I smile here at Alita. You can look outdoors. This is what we call Lake 4. This is our backyard, your backyard. Well, I hope it doesn't look like that, because that would be a mess with all those dishes out there, the satellite dishes. Let's take a look at what's happening with currents right now. 76 West Miami-Dade weather control, Fort Lauderdale at 78, Key West at 80, humidity at 76%, and the winds are calm. Now, as we take a look at the big picture, 12 hours ago, you can see the storms right down the spine of Florida, going to put it all into motion here. And look how everything dissipates. Now we're just left with some leftover clouds this morning, but storms just about any time for today, some of which could be on the heavy side because a bunch of moisture right in place, especially at the surface. You remember that low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico? Well, it has since dissipated, but not without pumping in the moisture and also the cloud cover, and that's what we're going to see for today with lighter winds, moist and humid air mass, and plenty of storms, especially later this afternoon. Into the weekend, more storms, especially in the afternoon hours, some of which could be on the heavy side, so you want to keep that in mind with plenty of lightning. 12 hours ago, with the big picture here, big storms moving off the eastern seaboard. They have since pushed out. Florida clearing out, but we'll see more showers developing later. You see this front, it should stay there, move a little bit closer to us come the weekend, and that's going to give us the wind shift, but we're not going to see any of the cooler and drier air. That will stay to the north of us. 40s now in Toronto, 50s in Montreal, 50s also in Boston and New York, and not going to rise very much for today. 60s in Philadelphia, but much better than it was 12 hours ago with plenty of storms. Severe weather, actually even reported in Albany, New York, has all since moved off the eastern seaboard and now just pushing through Boston. But delays in Portland, also into Boston, Hartford, and into New York because the visibilities are down just a bit. And it's Friday, so the volume is up also, so keep that in mind as you head out. If you're traveling out of Miami or Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood International Airports, expect 50s and 60s along the eastern seaboard, beginning a little better there. 70s off towards the north, topping off in hot Atlanta at 88 degrees. Your forecast in detail here in South Florida. 88 also, storms around, some heavy with possible street flooding. So keep it in mind, especially if you're headed out during the lunchtime hours. Southeast winds 10 knots. Sees 2 feet or less with a light chop in the base. Tonight, storms will fade. Maybe a shower along the coast, much of like we're seeing this morning. 75 is what we're looking at, so still warm and also muggy. The weekend forecast, early sun for both days, and then storms likely right around lunchtime and then rumbling through the early evening hours. Good morning.
CBS Ford Traffic, sponsored by Palmetto Ford. Family owned, so give us a try before you buy. 305-592 Ford.
Crash just happened in Broward County along 95. Car hit the wall northbound right before Oakland Park Boulevard, so you can expect some onlooker delays there. Let's take a look now.
Now, live, this is a UPN 33 News Update.
I'm Danielle Knox. The FBI says there's absolutely no indication that an explosion in a Los Angeles apartment complex is related to terrorism. The blast hit the 3-story building in the Encino area this morning. Several units were severely damaged, and there are reports of injuries. And the big weekend this year, thousands arriving on South Beach for Memorial Day celebrations. Hundreds of extra officers are in place to keep things under control. Watch UPN 33 News every night at 10.